Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to Homeridge Studio. Today I have 5 ideas to share with you. They're Valentine's Day ideas, but they're actually more transitional, meaning you could probably leave them out all year long. But if you wanted to make a few more last minute Valentine's Day crafts, this video is for you. Before I share my video with you, I want to give you some details about my free giveaway. First, it is not affiliated with YouTube at all in any way, shape, or form. It is my own giveaway. It is totally free. It's an appreciation for exceeding my goal of 2,500 subscribers. And I can't be here without you. I couldn't have done it without you. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that's why I am giving to 2 lucky winners one $25 gift card for Amazon and also a box full of craft supplies. So 2 people will win and each person will get a $25 gift card for Amazon as well as a box full of craft supplies. So it's totally free. All you have to do is watch my video. I will be posting it on Wednesday and you need to leave a comment of which craft is your favorite craft from the video, and then you need to be able to edit your comment and just add a smiley face emoji or whatever. Just edit your comment because I can see that it's edited. I want to make sure that you're a real person, it's not a bot or anything. Winners will be posted on February 14th, Valentine's Day. And I will post it on my community tab, and there I will give you contact information so we can privately exchange information, so I can send your box out to whatever address you want me to send it to. And because of shipping costs and everything else, it's US only. I am so sorry, you guys. I wish I could extend it, but I can't at this time. Also, if your package is damaged or lost for any reason at all, I cannot be responsible for that. But with all that being said, good luck. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart, and let's get into the video. Okay, here we go. Number 1. This could be a wall hanger or a shelf sitter. And if you make it, here's what you'll need. This is quick and easy. I have a wooden cutting board from the Dollar Tree, the smaller one. I have a piece of scrapbook paper from a packet of paper. And I have this heart from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to trace this out. And then I'm going to cut it out. And then I have my glue stick and I'm going to put it all over the paper, concentrating on the ends. And now I'm just going to press that down on the cutting board. And I have my brayer, and I'm just going to push all that glue down and push the paper right into the board. And now I have my rotary tool. I'm just cutting off the extra paper. It's always best to make it a little bit longer, wider, because you can always cut off the excess, because if you try to make it exact size, sometimes it turns out to be a little bit smaller, then you have to do it all over again. I know because I have done it several times, so I always make my cuts bigger by just a little bit. Okay, and see, this is so easy. We're almost done here. I just took like a little piece, a little wood piece. I have a container full of like little wood circles and Jenga blocks and those little wooden squares, and I wanted to give this a little bit of lift. I wanted to glue this on there, but I couldn't glue it on there without putting a wood piece under it to give it some support. And then after I glued it on there, it was still kind of wobbly, so I took some of these little square pieces here and then I just put them under there for extra support. And now I took the ribbon off and I had to put it back on because it was kind of all like, I don't know, wrinkly. I wanted to straighten it out. So I just put it back on there and I just glued it right in the back. I think this turned out so pretty, and it was so easy. It didn't take me long at all, as you can see. And I cut off the extra ribbon, and I did put a piece of tape on the back there too to hold it on, some masking tape. And now I just had these little green pieces in my stash. Sometimes I take my projects apart and I just throw the little greenery pieces in a box. And that's where I got these from. And now I'm just going to put a bunch of them on the top here. And then I have these bows. I don't remember where I got them. I think they were from Hobby Lobby, I'm not sure. But they had a little gold wire wrapped around them, just a little burlap bow. They were out at Christmas time. And I just clipped off the wire, and then I glued this little teeny bow up here on top. And that is it. Look at how cute this turned out. And this can be definitely left out all year long. Okay, number 2. And this is a wall hanger. And here's what you'll need for this. I picked this up from the Dollar Tree the other day. It's a metal piece. And I have, again, some more of that same greenery. And then I have these little styrofoam hearts from the Dollar Tree. And I have chalk paint in the color moss and in plaster. So I'm going to give this 3 good coats of this moss color here. And the third coat is, I'm going to use this dabber here so you don't see the brush strokes. And obviously in between each coat you're going to need to let it dry, because if you don't let it dry and you paint over wet paint, it will pick it right up off of the metal piece here. So 3 coats, and then after that was dry, and I did take my blow dryer in between each coat, I put a coat of Mod Podge on it so it doesn't chip off. And now I, again, have a heavy hand, and I have this plaster, and I really wanted all these things to pop through, and or pop out, I should say. I got a little crazy with this. I had paint everywhere. So I had to take a baby wipe and try to wipe it all down. Like, I know what I had in mind, but it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, because I just got that chalk paint everywhere, the white paint, instead of just on the raised pieces. So I'm just piecing my little pieces in here, little greeneries, and these are all from the Dollar Tree too. And I'm showing you different options. I have a burlap bow, I have a lace ribbon that would be really pretty, but I took this burlap one that has little teeny tiny white polka dots in it, and I thought, I'm going to make an awareness bow with this one. So you crisscross it, you bring it down in the back, you scrunch it up in the middle, and then I just tie it off with some jute. So I tie it in the back and I make a double knot. Then just clip the extra jute off, and then I am going to dovetail the ends here. And I just pop that bow right on there. And now I have the little styrofoam heart from a Dollar Tree pick, and I'm just going to pop it in the middle there. You can put a button there. You could put, another bow on top of that. It's endless, the things that you can do for this, but this is a transition piece too. And I really like, eventually this turned out great, but in the beginning, boy, it was a mess. It was a white chalky mess. Anyway, number 3. And this is a Dollar Tree picture frame. And if you make it, here's what you need. So I'm sure you guys recognize that. I've had that in my stash for a long time. I have these key stickers from the Dollar Tree. I have some ribbon, and I have the antique wax. So I'm going to take this all apart and pop that paper out of there. So there's no glass in there, there's nothing, it's just that paper heart there. So I didn't want to pull those pieces out, those little tabs. So I had to take my little tool and bend them up. That was kind of tricky to do that. I couldn't do it with my fingers. They were really, really stuck, bent in there. Anyway, I take my wax and I give it a good coat on the top, the bottom, and all the sides. And I took a baby wipe and I wiped off the extra paint because I didn't want it super dark, but I didn't want it super light either. And now I took a key and I just put it right on there. I didn't have to hot glue it because it's sticky. And now I have some lace ribbon, and this is from the Dollar Tree. It's that white lacy ribbon in a thicker one. And again, I'm just making an awareness bow the same way that I made the previous one. And sometimes, because this is not wired, it's kind of tricky. So those little clamps work like a charm. I just clamped it together until I could get the jute under it. Then I tied it off in a double knot, clipped off the extra. And I'm going to glue it right on top there. And I made that really long. Unbelievably long, and so now I'm just going to trim it at an angle on both ends. And then I thought sometimes what I do is I kind of scrunch it up and glue it on the ends, but I didn't like the way that looked because you really couldn't see that it was a heart. So I do end up trimming it down even more. But before I did that, then I just took a piece of jute and I glued it to the top of the key sticker, and then just wrapped it up all the way up onto the back and glued that, kind of like the key is hanging from a jute string. And then these scraps from when I cut down the bow, they were sitting there and they gave me an idea. I thought, because I felt bad because I wasted kind of a lot of this. It didn't turn out the way that I had envisioned it, the bow. But I thought, you know what? I'm not going to throw them out. I'm going to try to use them. So I'm just gluing one on each corner except the corner where the key is. And this is very, I think, like shabby chic, very transitional. I love this piece, and it was so inexpensive to make. Like, seriously, I think the wood piece was probably, well, I probably paid $1 for it because I've had it for a while. So let's say $1.25, and then the ribbon $1.25, and the packet of key stickers $1.25. Actually, those were on clearance for a penny, but I've had some of those in my stash too as well. So this was a very inexpensive piece. Now, I didn't make anything to put in the middle. You can put a picture in there, or you can put some cardstock in there of any color you want, or you can put a design on it, but I just kind of left it plain here. I think I'm going to put a picture of my grandchild, my grandson, in there. He's going to be 5 months old pretty soon, and he's my first grandchild, and he's so sweet, you guys. He makes me laugh. He makes me smile. Oh, yep, and now I'm topping it off with some buttons. So I have some very light pink buttons here. And I'm just going to put one in the middle of the bow and then one on all 3 of those corners. And that's it. Here it is. I love how this turned out. Okay, number 4. This is a yarn wreath, and I apologize right away for the lighting. I craft in my kitchen. I'm trying to craft upstairs in my craft room, and I have to figure out the lighting yet. I'm not happy with this lighting at all. That's why I craft in my kitchen. It's so light and bright in there. Anyway, so I have the yarn, this big chunky yarn. The pink stuff, I don't know where I got that from. It might have been like Hobby Lobby or, I don't know, one of those stores, a craft store. So this is pink, and it has some silver sparkles in it. And then the gray is from the Dollar Tree from a year or two ago when they sold that big, thick, chunky yarn. I just want to get rid of it because, I don't know. The pink is nice. That gray, you'll see in a minute, is terrible. So as you can see what I'm doing, these are about 8 inches long, and you can do this on the top or in the bottom. So I just took one and, wrapped it underneath, and then I just pulled the 2 pieces through. I'll do it again one more time. Put it on the bottom, and then pull them through. And then you pull it really tight and pull it to the outside. And I did that all the way around. So I experimented making them smaller, like 6 inches, and they were too small. It's better to make them larger and to be able to trim it off than to make them smaller and then have to do it all over again. So that's all I had to do, a little bit of trimming. Like I said, I think they were 8 inches long. And now here's that gray stuff. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's just messy. I don't crochet or knit. My kids do, but yeah, this, I know enough to know that, I don't know, this was in bad shape. So I used it anyway. And so the same thing, I think I made them 8 inches long, the same thing, because when I'm done with this, I think I'm going to make a gnome, and that will be in the gnome's beard. This is so fuzzy, but it turned out really pretty. So I did the same thing. So instead of pulling it underneath, one of them, the pink, was underneath, I think, and then this one was on top. So I just put each one on there, pulled it really tight, and then trimmed it off as I was going around. And I did it around the whole entire piece. So this is what it looks like when it's done, and that's the back. So you could use the back or the front, depending on, what you like it to look like. You can take a piece of yarn and you can make a hanger for it, or you can use, ribbon if you want, or you can just hang it because it is the wire wreath form. And I'm just showing you different options. You could put a Happy Valentine's Day in there. If you like the cars and the trucks, you can do that. You can hang a little heart in there. Then you could put a word in the middle. And this is perhaps my favorite one. I love this piece, and I love pink and gray together. I think they look so good. So which one do you think I'm going to use? The heart or the love word. That was pulled off of, I don't know, some sign from the Dollar Tree. And I just took some more yarn and I just tied it on. And I think this turned out so pretty. Okay, last but not least, number 5. This is kind of like, it can be a wall hanger. You can make a couple of them, and you can put like 3 hanging on the wall, or it can be an ornament if you have a Valentine's Day tree. I don't. I was going to try to do one this year, but I didn't. So I have that ceramic piece from the Dollar Tree. I have that gorgeous wrapping paper from the Dollar Tree. It's pink and beige. And I have some ribbon in that little wood rose from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just cutting a piece of this paper out. I want to get the design on the paper straight. That's why I was moving it around, because the heart is kind of on an angle. So that's kind of what I was doing there. And then I just have some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to put it all over the heart here, the ceramic heart. Make sure it's good and dry. Now I'm going to put the paper on top of it. Yeah, I'm trying to line it up so it's not crooked. And then I have parchment paper, and I'm going to put it on top of that. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner, my parchment paper, the blow dryer blew it on the floor. I had to go pick it up. Anyway, I'm just ironing that on. This is a little heat press. And I'm focusing on the edges to make sure. See, I pulled it up to see, and it didn't take on one of the edges, and I just pressed it on again. This method works so well. I know that I say this all the time, but for anybody that's new, what it does is the glue's dry, the heat press reactivates the glue, and it glues the paper or tissue paper or napkin or whatever you use. It glues it right onto whatever you're ironing it onto. Now I have a very light grit sandpaper here. This block is from the Dollar Tree. It's almost about ready to throw it out. I've used it a lot. And I just sanded it away. Don't pull it up because it can tear the paper. Pull it down. I have this poker thing. It's called an owl, A-W-L, owl. And I just made the holes, and I didn't poke them through the back. I poked them from through the front, so the paper didn't come out the front, because sometimes I've done that before, and it will, then you can see the torn pieces of paper. So poke it through the front, through the back, if that makes sense. And then now I have this little rose here. I'm going to glue that on in the middle. And I have my favorite Distress Oxide in the color Vintage Photo. And I'm just going to go along the edges. I don't want a line, like a straight line. I want to kind of blend it in, so I'm kind of swirling it around. Now, I've said this before. Start with a very, very light hand. I have a tendency to have a very heavy hand. Sometimes I kind of ruin my projects. They just get darker and darker and darker. But when this Distress Oxide goes on, whether it's a piece of paper or a tissue or whatever it goes on, it will not come off. You cannot wipe it off. You can take a baby wipe and you can try, but it will just tear the paper underneath it. So once it's on there, it's permanently on there. And now I have this velvet ribbon. I bought it from Hobby Lobby, and this is like it's like a cocoa brown color. I am totally loving the velvet ribbons this year. This year and last year, I've used them a lot. And I'm just going to make a hanger for this. I think this velvet ribbon just takes it up to the next level. So I just pulled that through. As you can see, I'm just going to tie a knot up on top there. And I think this turned out so pretty. Hopefully, I have a tree. It's not a Christmas tree or anything. It's more of a kind of like, it looks like kind of like a miniature white birch tree. And I wanted to do a Valentine's Day tree and an Easter tree and all that. And I just never got around to it. But anyway, I love this piece. Let me know which one is your favorite. And here is the whole shebang, all 5 pieces that I made today all together. And here's a little taste of some of the other pieces I have made during this season. And that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and remember to subscribe, like, hype, share, all that good stuff. And don't forget, next Wednesday will be the giveaway, and the winners will be notified on my community tab on February 14th, Valentine's Day. And with all that being said, like I always say, I will be back real soon, Wednesday. And until then, have a blessed week. Bye.